What's up, world? This is Sway. Welcome to Rapfix Presents J. Cole, the warm-up 5 years later. Today, you're going to see a world premiere of a video you never seen before. Lights, please. We're going to talk intimately about this mixtape that helped set the tone to his entire career. It's the one that made me a gigantic fan. Please welcome J. Cole, ladies and gentlemen.
What up?
I was a big fan of the come-up, too, but it was the warm-up that just, kind of sealed the deal for me. I don't just give everybody, you got to put out more than one project.
I already know. I know how it goes.
I'm curious, man. You've accomplished so much since then, so I can only wonder, it must be surreal for you to think back at that time, 5 years ago, when this tape released. So was it just like yesterday?
It does. It went by quick in 5 years. Like, it sounds longer. You know what I mean? Until you actually experience the 5 years from like a major point in your life, and you're like, yo, that was fast. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't really feel like it was that long ago. But really, my thoughts always go back to the year before. You know what I mean?
Before.
When it all started. Like when I had the idea to do something like this. You know what I mean? And this is before I had a record deal and all that. So like, when I think about the warm up, I think about not being signed. You know what I mean? And not having no record deal and just having faith that it was gonna come. You know, so that's what I think about.
What was your routine like back then? I mean, what did you do? How did your days start? How did they end?
Yeah, it depends on like whether I had the job or didn't have the job. Because I had songs like Lights Please, I had like Lost Ones, I had these classic records that I'm like, well, this is gonna give me my deal.
Yeah.
And I wasn't paying my rent though. It wasn't paying my rent at all. My daily routine was literally wake up, 12 in the afternoon, roll over, find some samples. I listen to albums all day long, like chopping up samples, making beats, writing rhymes, try to find some food for the day because I had no money. So like I was hoping somebody would come through with $5 for me so I can go get a meal or something like that. That was always a struggle too. So that was my daily routine, just really being dedicated to working.
The studio is like what the phone booth is for Clark Kent. When he goes in the phone booth, he turns into Superman, right? Y'all know that story, right? Well, we actually unearthed this footage of J. Cole, or Jermaine Clark Kent, turning into J. Cole in the studio, showing you that super cockiness we're talking about.
Jay-Z, I got a few projects that I'd like to get you on.
Hey, man.
If you're not scared.
Ooh. Are you challenging Jay-Z?
Ooh. Not on camera, I'm not.
Yeah.
I was bugging. I was bugging. That was that's crazy. That was my birthday, 09. So I signed the deal in February of 09, but I knew I was gonna get the deal since December. My birthday's in January. That was my birthday night. We recorded Dead Presidents 2 that night, I think. Like Last Call that night, we recorded all off the warm up or whatever. And so it was a special night. Everybody brought drinks through. Melanie Fiona was there. I played her like the Lost Ones video because I was sitting on that for a while. And so that was a crazy night. And just seeing that was wild. And I was being reckless too. Talking about I was being reckless.
How would you describe, so much has happened since then, but how would you describe your relationship with Jay-Z now?
Oh, it's dope. It's like from the very beginning I felt I'm a realist. You know when you talk to me and when you hear my raps, I'm a very realistic person. I'm almost too honest at times, like uncomfortably honest. You know what I mean? So getting into the rap game and doing interviews in 09, it was weird because I seen that like it's a lot of fronting going on in the industry and like posturing and like I gotta make it seem like I'm this type of person. When people would ask me, I just did the deal, February. Just met the guy in November, and then that summer I'm doing interviews and people ask me, so what's your relationship like with Jay-Z? And I felt this pressure that people wanted me to say like that we was best friends, and but the real truth was like, yo, I just signed to the dude. Like we ain't had no time to really grow into a real relationship. Yeah. I was very aware of that, and I wasn't gonna lie for my image to make it seem like I'm cool with Jay-Z. But I hoped and I was confident in time that relationship would grow into something real. You know what I mean? Because I gotta gain my respect from this man, you know what I mean? Just as a person, I gotta get to know him. He gotta get to know me as a regular human being. So I say all that to say, back then I was answering it like, man, I'm signed to him. But now it's like it's an actual relationship. I feel like I know him a little better, a lot better, and I can relate to him because I've been through a lot of the things that he's been through. So now our conversations are different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. There's a real there's something to go off of to build a relationship other than you signed to me. I believed in you and gave you a shot. So now it's a real thing, you know.
Did he ever see that footage, you think?
Nah, I hope he don't even watch this. Nah, I'm joking. Nah, he never saw that.
I appreciate you as an artist, you know, and not just from my own personal listening, but I think you push culture for it, you know.
Thank you.
And I thought that when I heard this mixtape. On Dollar and a Dream 2, you really documented your problems, which I thought was so relatable about student loans.
Right.
Sally
Right.
Mae. And then you talked about Sally Mae like she was a woman that you used.
Yeah, that's
You know. First question, did you
Some
ever...
people still don't even know what you're talking about. They just went over their heads for years, and they're like, whoa, that's what you saying?
Y'all didn't get that?
No, they got it.
Oh, no,
They
oh,
knew.
okay. All right.
They knew. That song gives you great perspective of who this person is on that tape. It's like I wasn't posturing like I'm some rich baller, some super gangster. I was really just like, yo, I'm just living in the world as a 23-year-old black man, you know what I mean? And I just feel like that's why people love it even to this day and why it connected with so many people, because it's so, they felt it. They were living that too.
Yeah. You had a line that said what it means to know your mom or father on that pipe, that hard white. I'll tell you what those scars are like.
Right.
You know, that line right there made me go, I really like this dude. You know, that's what your experience was?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Without going into, you know,
Yeah.
so much detail, but yeah, I lived through that. Unfortunately, but it's all good. It's like those things like that made me stronger, made my family stronger. But that was another reason why, like, I was rapping and still am to this day against what we talking about as a people. Like, you the smart dude that raps and that can tell the stories really good, but you're not the dude that's really doing that. And even though I listen to these dudes, I see these dudes, I say what's up to them, you know what I mean, because they cool.
Yeah.
And like their music is good, but I never get it twisted about what I represent, you know what I mean, and what I'm against. And I'm doing my part. Y'all doing y'all part to say how you feel, and I'm doing my part to say how I feel. So that line, and I got a bunch more lines in my career where it's like, I'm anti that. You know, I'm against that, glorifying that and fronting and faking and making that seem like, you know, like it's the thing to do.
Give it up for J. Cole. This is Rap-Fix Presents J. Cole to warm up 5 years later. Don't forget, we got a world premiere that you never seen before coming up. All right, welcome back. This is Rap-Fix Presents J. Cole, the warm-up 5 years later. And we're just having an intimate discussion about the warm-up, the mixtape. 5 years later, man, it's a classic.
Yeah, thank you, man.
You know, classics for albums, like full recorded albums, have to be 10 years later.
Word.
But for mixtapes, I think it's 5 years later now, right?
You know what's crazy? I don't, listening back to it, I don't look at it like a mixtape. Like, the reason why it's called the warm up is because I didn't want to call it a mixtape. And it was the summer before that, 6 years ago.
Yeah.
I had dropped the come up. I was like, what can I do? What can I call it? What can I do? And I was like, oh, I'll just do these warm-ups. Like, what would Kobe Bryant be doing right now to get better? Oh, he's in the gym. And in the gym, you can try anything and get ready for the game. I was like, these are my warm-ups. I didn't want nobody to call it a mixtape. I wanted them to call it a warm-up in my mind. It didn't work out like that. It wasn't the best idea.
Well, dude, I mean, we got it, dude. If you see, got the warm-up jerseys right here. You didn't see that?
Yo, y'all got J. Cole jerseys?
Jersey, yeah, man. You didn't notice that.
5. Ah, so clever. I just got it for real, though.
I got a chance to appreciate you as a lyricist, as a skilled lyricist. But at the same time, I like walking away from something I listened to feeling like I learned something or something stuck to me. So what I thought we'll do, man, this might be kind of fun if you guys agree, is I just want to see how in tune you are with what you were saying back then.
Okay.
I'll start off the lyrics,
All right.
and we'll see if you can finish them, all right? Okay. Heaven or hell, you choose. Freedom or jail, you lose.
Can't stop him as hot as the devil's shoes. Overcame a low life status to blow like Gladys. Ahead of my time. Like I lived my whole life backwards. I'm nothing like you whole life rappers. My whole life practice to be the one. What it's like to be LeBron. They calling you the savior, so much pressure, but you still, the weight of the world is
Yeah, all right, you know that one. All right, yeah, prejudice too.
Word.
All right. Look, all he wanted was a deal, so when he got it, he just faded. But tell me what's the deal when you want to be the greatest?
Jay, I appreciate it. Hell of a stepping stone. Wonder if he seen it in my eyes, I'm trying to get the throne. Wonder if the people know how many nights I spent alone, making beats, writing rhymes, thinking deep, fighting time, getting better but wasn't getting younger. And all that time can make the most confident wonder, but never doubted or allowed that shit to phase me, yo. To switch my thoughts up like the stations on the radio. Now I am.
Ooh. That's called, right? Yo, if you know the lyrics, jump in. You know some great lyrics, man. I just felt like you were just speaking your mind and it rhymed. You know what I mean?
Word.
You had another line that I appreciated about cannabis.
Yeah.
Yeah, my name ain't James.
My name ain't James, my word is Bond. Yeah, shout out to Cannabis, had a similar line, 98, 99. Damn, that was the times. Never mind dwelling on the past, you listen to the future. The flows get tighter, the hoes get looser.
You don't know who Cannabis is? Okay, great, man.
Yeah, he dissed me, so they know. Yeah.
They know that, yeah, I know, right?
Nah, yeah, I had to show love because that's when I started rapping better.
Yeah.
When I started listening to Cannabis, like and Eminem, and that 98 era,
Yeah.
all them rappers that was around at that time, X, Pun, Big L, like rappers that was, you know, their voices was being heard at that time, you know what I mean? Loud and clear, and they were real rappers and real lyricists that changed the way I was rapping. Because before that, you know, I was rapping like Master P. That's why we have a Dreamville hotline right now, by the way.
Yeah.
It's because every day I used to call the No Limit hotline, like, and leave messages like, yo, man, it's Jermaine Cole, I'm from Fayetteville. I got an idea for a video, Silk the Shocker video, holla at me, like, I know what I'm doing. I see it clearly. It's for track number 11. I got it. You want to hit me, trust me, I got it.
I feel like you always trying to have real, your persona, you always trying to have real conversations with women. And you know, that's how, I suppose that's how you are in real life too, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It's just what I see, is what I observe. So I care. Like, I know when I have a daughter, I'm going to be like probably the most annoying father, because it's like even like people around me, like, you know, female relationships that I have friends or whatever, it's like I want the best for them, but then it's what I think is the best, you know what I mean, or whatever the case is. But my songs have come across the same way. Losing My Balance is a perfect example. You got the first verse of that song, it's talking about Miss High Profile, caught you shopping on Canal. I guess it makes sense. It seems phony as your style. Your hair and your nails just as phony as your smile. Fake eyelashes, you drew your eyebrow. And make a brother ask, do you pride yourself? Your makeup like a mask trying to hide yourself. You know what I mean? So this whole first verse is talking to this girl. And it's like I'm trying to tell her, like, damn, you don't even realize you lost. My intentions were, I hope some girl hears this song. I hope a lot of girls hear this song and it hits them like, oh, I ain't even know. Somebody just told me in another way. And then on the third verse, it's like I'm talking to another type of girl who's like I'm infatuated with, because she's the opposite. You know what I mean? She's confident. She don't need the makeup and this, that, and the third. And it's not always like that, but it's if they peddling fantasy and if they peddling things that ain't realistic, well, let me do the same thing in my way. Like, if that type of chick is not realistic, you know what I mean? I could still portray her and let some other girl aspire to be her. You know what I mean? That's just you rapping about drug dealing. You don't deal no drugs. And even if Miss High Profile on Canal, even if she's not a real character, you know, per se, I'm using that fantasy to make my point, you know, in my own type of way or whatever. So I don't know if that answered any question you asked.
That made sense. I like that,
man. Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you.
We got some fans that have some questions.
I know sometimes, like, as an artist, you have a lot of songs, but it's like, I know personally it's that one song that you're like, this is the best song I ever made. So I was wondering, what's your best song you think you made from the warm-up?
Of course, the obvious answer, I think, is like Lights, Please. That's like a song that everybody loves, and I think it represents my persona as a rapper so well. Everything's in there, you know what I mean? In terms of content and things I stand for and things I want to do is like in that song. But I don't know, because I can't even really say that, because then I hear a song like Hold It Down. People don't mention that song to me in passing. Nobody like, oh, Hold It Down. But when I listen to it, because it's such a personal song and it's such a real song, it's like that's one of my favorites. I have songs like that sometimes where I know it's super personal to me, but I don't know if people receive it how I receive it. Like Can I Holla At You was a joint I put out on Truly Yours or whatever. But like, to me, it's like people need to be coming up to me like, yo, can I holla at you? Like, but maybe because it's so personal to me, that maybe, you know, it don't hit other people the way it hits me.
Hi, I'm Rena, and I actually go to St. John's, too.
Woo! Girl, you paying that big money.
I was wondering if you still get nervous before going on stage.
Like, if I'm on tour, nah, because I'm in tour mode. But if it's a special occasion, like we was out in Australia doing stadiums with Eminem, like then it's like a little nervous before the first show, because it's a brand new thing, it's a bigger venue. Or if it's like a really important show, like my birthday show,
I was there.
You were there? There we go. Word. That show, like, I might be a little nervous, like, because it's such an important show. Not every show is important, but there's, like, more, because I knew he was coming out. You know what I mean? So it's just a bigger deal that night.
Man, give it up for J. Cole. We're going to come back, though.
Hey.
This Rap Fix presents J. Cole to warm up 5 years later. We got a real big surprise for you guys. Don't move. All right, here we are again. Welcome back. This is Rap Fix presents J. Cole to warm up 5 years later. You having a good time with J. Cole? Really interesting, man.
Word.
At the time you released the warm up, you kind of changed the way that the music business looked at mixtapes and what they can do in terms of setting up a career.
When I came with the warm-up, it was no hit records. Like, it was nothing. You know, nothing that was going to play at the radio. It was just literally cult following, like, life music in a sense, right? Yeah. So the labels didn't know what to do with that. Like, you're not Drake, you don't have the hit records. That's going to translate, because usually a label will sign you, put you in the studio. When you get a single, that's when they start working. Yeah. It's the first time they hadn't pressed any buttons other than signing, and had people coming up to them every day. Yo, when y'all dropping that J. Cole kid? Yo, we like that. People in the industry, people on the street, always talking about J. Cole, and it was confusing. That's when they hit us with, yo, we need a single. First time we ever got hit with that. And then we hit them with like, all right, well, here's Who Dat. You know what I mean? And it was like we were brand new into this business model. But now what we see is the label didn't know that the fans that were dying, riding or dying for you online would actually translate into sales. That's why it took my album so long to come out. Yeah. That's why I had to drop another project, Friday Night Lights, because I didn't have a radio single that worked or whatever. Now we see, through me dropping the warm-up, doing shows, tours, building fans, hitting peak level with Friday Night Lights in terms of like buzz can go, and doing more shows, then finally putting out an album when no single was connecting. Workout wasn't even working at radio by the time we put the album out. But we came out, so 217,000, we'll have whatever number the first week. Then everybody in the industry was like, oh, they do buy records.
Yeah,
And the dude that got the turn-up music in the club, who got the #1 record in the country in urban music, he put out his album, he sold 20,000, 30,000. Oh, they don't buy records. You know what I mean?
Did you know when you wrote Lights Please that it would be what it's become?
I knew it was definitely the best thing I had done at that time.
Yeah.
I knew that. I was very aware. When I did, I was like, oh, I just turned a corner as a songwriter. Like, this is the best thing I've ever done. And I had classics already. Like, I Get Up, and I had these songs that were really good. But when I did that, I knew. It wasn't on the radio, and that's a hit record. I do it at the shows right now, and it's like a fan favorite or whatever, and my favorite. So I didn't know it would last, but we knew it was special. You know what I mean? You
shot a video for this song, right?
Yeah.
And when did you shoot the video?
Fall 2008, maybe August, probably August 2008. We shot the song. We shot 3 videos. We shot Lights Please, Simba, From the Come Up, and Lost Ones, which wouldn't be released till my first album. My whole plan, by the way, was to hold Lights Please, Lost Ones, and some songs I still ain't even put out yet, all for my debut album. But the way things worked out, like I had to put out free projects, some of them joints got scattered, but they all went together. Especially Lights Please and Lost Ones, those songs are connected. So we got with these kids, BB Gun from New York, and my man Aristotle linked me with them. So we met with them intending to do one video. After I played them the music, we ended up walking out of that meeting planning to do 3 videos.
Wow.
You know what I mean? For no money, by the way. And the Lights Please video, even though it's dope, because I know people want to see it, in my eyes, it didn't reach the level of greatness that those other ones did, you know what I mean? But it's still dope, you know what I mean?
Yeah. When so that's why you never released it?
That's why we haven't released it. We've been holding on to it for way too long, though.
Man, get this. What we have for y'all today, and he did this because it's you guys.
Word.
It's not us.
Word.
We got a world premiere of Lights Please from the warm-up. First time ever seen.
Yeah, I haven't even seen this in years.
You haven't seen it either?
I haven't seen it yet. We about to watch it together for real.
All right.
The first time in a long time.
All right, and here it is.
Word. Word.
There it is. Lights Please, man. That's a dope video, bro.
Well, thank you, man.
Yeah,
you know, it's been a minute since I even seen that. It's funny looking at it, though.
There it is, man. Appreciate
Word.
you, homie.
Yeah, thank you.
I already know what it is. All right.
Yes.
Thank you guys, too. Thank you for watching.
Yeah.